All right, we are live. Welcome back to the Home Service Expert. Today I got a good buddy of mine that I get the pleasure of working with. His name is Jim Leslie. He resides in Pittsburgh, Illinois. I'm kidding.
Pennsylvania.
Um,
Steel City, man. Come on.
there you go. He's basically my right hand when it comes to a lot of the stuff here. He's really stepped in. His title is the Chief Technology Officer, but he's filling in as the Chief Marketing Officer. Pretty good at software. He's building a lot of software for us and helping out a lot with vertical track. Really, every facet of the business, he's kind of stepped in. He doesn't drink. He works weekends. He answers the phone at midnight or 5 a.m. So we're perfect together. Jim, do you want to give everybody a little bit of your background?
Yeah, it's kind of a interesting story. You know, I majored in math, found out you couldn't actually get a job in that, started a home service business. So I was in kitchen remodeling for about a decade, got an offer to be a CEO for a manufacturing company, did that for about 7 years. And that's the point where Tommy kidnapped me.
Yeah, I met Jim and he was looking around because he was bored and he got involved with actually Home Service Expert, kind of helping coach people, and then got to know him more. And I just realized he was being underutilized, and I was right. But I took care of that.
Yeah, we're at maybe 70% utilization now. We'll see.
Yeah.
I still got some more, but we're getting there.
Well, you were able to bring on a couple people, and I think that's going to help. You're still kind of getting them adjusted, but we just hired what's the title? The director of marketing. Trying to think of the title. Is that the title we chose?
I think it's vice president.
VP, whatever. Chase. He's going to be a great guy. So there's a lot of stuff that goes into what we're working on. Jim's he went to Nashville with me. He helped me kind of get going on my second book, which is all about everyone needs to win, culture, onboarding, a lot of that Levy type stuff. It's going to be amazing. Jody writes a little section in it. And we want to really do something special with this book. We want it to be, what I've been hearing lately is the Michael McElwitz, have you read Profit First? Or are you doing Profit First? And my goal is that this book comes out and it's literally like, are you guys doing that Tommy Mello recognition? And so it's coming with some software, really appreciating people and really thinking about what I really think about is we hire these people and we say, how are they going to help me? What are they going to do for me? This is their life. They've got kids. They've got a family. They're thinking about their future. They want stuff out of their life. But we're just like, this is my business. What are they going to do for me? If we change that attitude to how could I help them? Yesterday, Jim, in my meeting, I said, you got the link sent to you for Thursday morning meeting.
Yeah, I was on it.
I said, if I just sent you guys a video of me golfing, you better be good at golfing. You better be able to drive the ball 300 yards. The fact is, Tiger Woods hits 1,000 balls a day. I need these guys hitting balls. They need to go to the driving range. The driving range is that amazing training center. We need to work with them. They need to log in and out. We've got simulators for financing. We talk about eye contact. We talk about objection handling. My wife's not here. I got to talk to her. What time could I come back tonight to talk to her? I'm going to be in the neighborhood anyway. I just love what we do. And I think the biggest thing that we're really working on is marketing, because marketing is recruiting, marketing is clients, marketing is buying and partnering with companies. And then the other part is just the technology aspect of like, why don't you talk a little bit about the checklist app that you're building right now? Because I got everybody excited on the vertical track thing or the Home Service Expert page. Do you have anything you could show us or anything?
No, actually, no. I don't know how to screen share on this thing.
I could help. So right there at the bottom, there's a plus.
Oh yeah, actually, I can't pull up the app on the.
Yeah, don't worry about it. Just talk about it a little bit. What does it do? How does it work?
Yeah, I mean, we're on Service Titan. Service Titan has, a basic, form-based kind of checklist, but Tommy had a lot of other ideas how we could, bring some interactivity with it, some better tracking, a lot more dynamic stuff to show the customer. So, every item, instead of just a static item, we can attach pictures, a video for the technician to review. As they go through the steps of the checklist, they can record, pass, fail, statuses, keep notes, all of that. But when they complete it, customer can sign off and it pushes it back to their job in Service Titan. So all that data is kept with the customer. But in the meantime, we've connected it to our marketing sequences so we can know, as soon as the technician starts in the work in the home, we can send a text message to the customer. We can follow up with email sequences based off of, the status of different items on the checklist. So, if the technician, put that the condition of the motor was bad, then we know, that's a potential follow up. If they don't replace it at that point, we can put them into a marketing sequence based around, the issues that we found. There's a lot more, but that's kind of the basics. So.
Well, plus what it does, it text messages the customer the summary of 151-point tune-up, and then that gets the customer to say, listen, can you guys take care of this once a year? Service agreements are sold. The other thing is we can include animations and pictures of failed parts and show the client their part and say, this is what's going to end up happening. This is the sequence, and this will happen within the next 6 months. So, and then you can get the signatures, you can get the age of equipment. It's like a checklist on steroids with marketing capabilities, plus the ability to text message the client. So they're going, so if I send Jim a text message of 151-point tune-up when it finishes, and I go, hey, listen, the major things I noticed are the top 10. Those were tagged. And then the other 141, there's a video kind of explaining everything I did. Do you want to take care of that, or do you want me to take care of that each year?
Yeah, that's the latest feature we just started adding, so the technician can record a video, and kind of walk the homeowner through what's going on, and then the homeowner gets texted a summary, the checklist, including the technician's video after the checklist is complete.
So listen, we wanted to talk a little bit about Vertical Track. Obviously, I never knew we were going to have our own event, and when I saw what happened after the first one, it was like, this is no fluff. This is real shit that you can apply to your business. This is not something that is like, ooh, we want to sell tickets. We want to go on stage. It's like, I had a guy tell me he's tripled his business since the last Vertical Track. I've had people say, I understand a fundamental difference. I want you to describe Vertical Track, but if I had to tell you, we're giving our Rolodex, first of all, of tried and true people, which it's taken me a decade to build. On top of that, we're giving actionable items to get started today rather than theoretical bullshit that you could kind of get started in a year from now based on crap. And then the third thing is the core principles is our training center, our manuals, our checklist, the things that Levy helped us create. And the biggest takeaway usually is get started today. But what was your tell the listeners about Vertical Track and what's it all about and what your thoughts are on it?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of simply stated. I think it's the only event where you can come and meet real people that have scaled home service businesses. There's lots of conferences and, like you said, different people are in the speaking business and what have you. But, the first night at the dinner, I'm looking around and just adding up, sort of the total sales of all the companies that were there. And I'm like, there's like $4 billion in this room of home service entrepreneurs. And I just don't know where else you can get that with people that really, started in the trenches with one truck and built to, hundreds of trucks, right?
Yeah, I'd say one of the things I love the most about our event is when we open our doors, we show our training center. We help train their CSRs. We got a dispatch training coming up, which is
nothing's held back, right?
What's that?
Nothing's held back, right? I know.
I show the CRM. We go in and like people are just like, I don't need to like hold back. Like, good, go. Like, let's improve an industry. Like, the crazy thing about the last one is we had all these plumbers and roofers and gutter companies, and they all said, how do I join Garage Door Freedom? Because We've got how many? Talk a little bit about the vendors that we have that we're working with, and just including Service Titan.
Yeah, I mean, Service Titan, obviously a huge sponsor, and an integral part of the A1 business, obviously. But you know, we had a ton of vendors. Every vendor kind of walking away saying this event was amazing. The best companies were here. Everybody's asking questions, and how can we get more involved and help these folks out more? So.
Yeah, I think you look at just a company like Power Selling Pros, bring them. I mean, his message was amazing. The people are amazing. I believe in his product. We're still using them today.
One SEO is another huge,
Yeah, Lance and
huge
Bill
sponsor,
Rossel
Lance and Bill.
and Dan Antonelli spoke. Joe Crisaro was there. It's just the best of the best. The next one, I'm pulling out all the stops. Now, Ken Goodrich told me yesterday he's coming. Now, I believe it when I see it, but he said, "Hey, man, I really want to come to your event. I'll be there for you." He said, "Get me all the stuff." So Bree's sending him the information, and he was the most requested speaker. I mean, he's got an amazing story. But not only that, but I'm trying to get some. We're going to have some just all-star people, and I just want people to walk away and say, "This paid for itself times 100." These events. I had no idea. Victor Raincourt's event, he asked me to speak. His is $1.2 million, just hard costs. I had no idea. You know where they make all their money on these things is the food. It's like 60 grand per meal. Like, I had no idea. So I asked Bree the other day because we were at another event, the one in St. Louis, my boy Zach.
Right.
They passed out these boxes of food. And I said, how much would that cost if we just did the boxes? $50 a box. I'm like, so really they make the money from the rental of the space, and then they make a lot of obviously the hotel space. This one's at Wild Horse Pass. Coolest spot. This year I want it to be more of a networking. Bring your family. There's a lot of cool water stuff to do, and it's a perfect time of year. It's October in Phoenix.
And we added the networking ticket option, right? Because that was a feedback at the last event. Like, a lot of people wanted to bring, a significant other or something where they didn't necessarily want to go to the conferences. They wanted to kind of hang out at the resort or, golf or whatever, but then to be able to, have dinner and stuff, in the evening. So that's a new option this year, right?
Yeah. And, you and Bree, I'll tell you what, you guys have done a fantastic job, and the whole team, really. I mean, Megan's amazing. There's been a lot of people involved, Crystal. So this is weird talking to myself in the third person, but why did Tommy decide to organize this event, and where did the idea come from?
I kind of felt like I should be asking you that question, right?
The deal is the event. The thing is I had Joe Crisara and Al Levy and all these people, and I'm like, shit. I had Darius Livers that taught me how to do financing. I got, hopefully Alan Rohr comes to the next one, who taught me a lot of stuff and was a contributor to my book. I mean, you learn how to sell your business. All these people that I spent years podcasting and just building connections. We had Michael Michalowicz at the last one. I mean,
yep.
It's just such a blast to get the people that were my role models that taught me everything. I'll tell you what, if there's a mistake, I've made it. And if I didn't have mentors and people to go visit their shops and books to read and podcasts to be on, I would have never met Al Levy. I would have never met Alan Rohr. I would have never met Darius Livers. If I didn't have Service Titan Pantheon to go to, which I was voted the best speaker there. Who would have thought? But anyways, so how did the event go from only garage door service to the whole spectrum?
That really happened at the last minute last time, right? I mean, we had so many people asking about it. I think the word got out that it's, we talk a little bit about garage doors, but it's not like we're looking at, gear ratios and motors and stuff. I mean, the whole event, scaling your business, literally applies to anybody in the home service space. The training, the marketing, the recruiting, the culture, all the stuff that you talk about and teach. It's sort of universal principles, right? So why hold back from all these other industries? I mean,
How does the team, and you're part of the team, and Bree, how do you decide who the best key speakers for the event are going to be?
I mean, a lot of that goes to Bree, right? I mean, she does so much work in organizing, and but I think it's just figuring out who are the best people we can bring to the audience. I know there's just a ton of time involved in talking with everybody and finding the right fit and bringing something new, and we're really working hard this time to get a new some new faces, right? So
Yeah, we're gonna put some new faces on some different curriculum. Howard Partridge spoke at the last one. He was amazing. We learned a lot about the employee retention credits. One of the things these events need to be able to apply to people's businesses. I was talking to a guy earlier, and he's an amazing guy, and he came to the last event. He's part of Garage Door Freedom, and he can't find employees. And I gave him Jody's number, and I said, why don't you do a hiring event? I said, I promise you this. I will put 10 good candidates in front of you. But, one of the things he told me, and, I disagree, he gave the $3,000 bonus, 1,500 in 6 months, another 1,500 in 12 months. I was on a podcast yesterday with Ryan. His name's Ryan England. And he goes, why not just give them the bonus up front? You hired them. It's your job to retain them. Like,
right.
who would stay an extra 6 months for $1,500? Like, I'm not would you ever, if I was like, Jim, I'm going to pay you a 10 grand in 2 years, 24th month, you'd be like,
it's not even real at that point, right? Like something that might happen, right?
And by that time, let's show me how you're tracking this crap. And you use your PTO. It's like they try to weasel out of that. So, anyways, so tell me this. There's all these events starting to pop up. One thing I'll tell you this. With our acquisitions, can you agree that we'll do over 200 million this year?
Easily.
Who else is putting on an event? And I'm not here to blow smoke. I could give two shits, but I'm in the fight every day. How many hours do you think we spend on the phone a day?
I'll ask my wife, but she'll probably say like 5, right?
At least 2. Am I not calling you all day working on the business? Am I not in the middle of this fight?
Oh yeah.
I mean, am I coming in tomorrow and Sunday? You're flying in on Sunday, but are we not working all week? Are we not? Do we work on weekends? Do we work sometimes? Was I on the phone with you last night at 12:30 your time?
Yes, absolutely.
So my point is, the difference is, I don't give 2 shits if anybody joins our freedom group. Like, at the end of the day, this is not something, I think we're stronger together. Of course, it's amazing. I think it's cool. It does a lot of things. I learned just as much. When I get a Howard Partridge in a room and I take 10 pages of notes, when I got Al Levy giving me new ideas, when I got Lance from One SEO, when I'm learning new things from Service Titan, when they see me adding people and they prioritize my account, this makes me win. I win so many ancillary ways by doing this. But here's the deal. I'm still in the fight. And guess what? I love business more than anybody. I'm not giving up on my day-to-day. I don't care about being on a freaking stage. I don't care about my podcast. Lets me learn more than I could ever learn anywhere else, more than reading a book, because now I'm asking self-directed questions towards my business. So I just look, and I got to tell you this, there's a lot of great events out there. I like Victor's event. I think there's Joe Cristara puts on an amazing event. Like, look, there's the huge event that, Brandon Vaughn, you got, Danny Kerr. I'm not dissing anybody's crap, their stuff, but I'm just here going, I'm giving you guys, come into my home. You'll see what a $200 million company looks like, or even $100 million company, whatever. And take some notes if you want, because this is all I've done is go to businesses that are bigger than me and told them everything I do. So what are your thoughts that differentiate our event?
Yeah, I mean, we were collecting some testimonials at the end of the last event, and just kind of asking people, hey, what do you think about vertical track? And it's usually hard to get random people to open up on camera, right? But I mean, I think we collected like 50 people, and I'm sitting there trying to pick 5 or 6 to put on the website, right? But everybody had the same thing. I've never seen a place where you could come and literally talk to the guys going 20, 30, 60, $100 million, where they're literally giving you the exact playbook. And just walking you through the good things and the bad, the mistakes that were made, the way they fixed them, what worked, what didn't work. I mean, where else can you get that, right?
Did you see what people were saying about Angela's training or Elisa's? So we sent technicians there, and we sent CSRs there, and of course, everybody's like, "Is this really? Are they going to really teach us anything?" All I know, Angela sends me an email twice a week about someone just saying, "Oh my God, our booking rate is through the roof," and you know what's hard each time is making it better. And I love the first vertical track. I thought it was killer. I hear a lot, you know, one of the things Cody Johnson talks a lot about the first one, but this last one was like, it was just so much fun. And I can't wait for Wild Horse Pass. But what do you think? What were some of the things that the key insights about the last event that stood out to you?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, lots of positive feedback. I think it opened a lot of people's eyes, right? Their goals, like guys that came in that were doing like 5 million and thought, oh, I could do 7 or 8, you know, walked out saying, I should be Cody.
Well, yeah, these guys, they walked out, they say, listen, I think I can do 6 million next year. Then they said, forget that, I'll do 12. You know, every number they had in their head, they were like double.
Yeah. I mean, you know, 30 million is possible, you know, was something that I heard, you know, all over the place. We have a clear path to double in the next 18 months. I mean, that was a pretty common realization. So,
you know, Lance called me up and said we raised our price for the first time in 12 years. And there was one attorney that said, my cousin Ryan doubled his prices. He's setting record high profitability. Every call I got was, you were right. I raised my prices. I'm doing more for my employees. I'm recruiting easier. I've got happier people. We're able to do the things like get on the Service Titan and buy new computers. We actually were able to get vehicles because Holman was there. What are some of the partnerships that we've established? Just go through a couple, maybe go through a dozen of them.
Yeah, I mean, one SEO has been great. You know, Service Titan, of course. You know, Power Selling Pros. I'm trying to think of all of them.
We got a way to get shirts. We got a way to get tools. We've got ways for, you know, there's literally the cameras in your vehicles. It's one of the things that we're going to be working with is like some of the different marketing features. We got AMAR if you're in garage doors to give 3% back.
Consumer Fusion's a brand new partner, right?
That's going to be amazing. Literally, these partners, they're coming out of the woodwork. And the deal is, GoodLeap is giving a special price. We got something going on with Service Finance for financing. We got the branding down with Dan. You know, there's like, you add it all up. And I think we had 150 vendors we were trying to dial in. And the deal is what I love about all these vendors is I could call them all on their cell phones right here. And if they don't come through, if one of our people get left short, you better believe that I make it right. I mean, that's the one thing is if I'm putting my name behind somebody, I will go to war before they get taken advantage of.
Yeah, I'm kind of the same way. I don't like to stick my neck out unless I know somebody's going to perform, right?
So what's the future of Vertical Track? What is it looking like?
Yeah, you know, I think it's another Tommy goal, right? I mean, every time bigger, better, more people, more training, more knowledge, more insights, more vendors, you know, just more giving back. So what do you see? It's probably a better question, right?
What is it?
What do you see, right? That's probably a better question.
Well, what I want to start doing is I want to start really getting into maybe 10 core competencies. You know who we got to reach out to Joe Polish to write that down. I wanted to see if we could get him, but 10 core competencies. And I wanted to start. Yes, this is an event for everybody, but I also want to work as, let's just say we got carpet cleaning. I want to get the top 5 carpet cleaning manufacturers involved. And I want people to get more focused into their niche. You know, I'm investing in a $15,000 recruiting course. I just paid $5,000 that you're going to be involved in a fractional CFO course. What I love is I'll probably spend, I pay $100,000 for the 100 million net mastermind. Is if I'm willing to put out $250,000 a year to learn and pull this, and not to mention another probably 20,000 in books and audibles, and then the podcast. But I'm trying to pull this in a useful way that people can digest it and actually make an actionable item to get started today. So the one thing is, people say 15 grand for a course. Ryan said yesterday, I'm signing up for that shit. 15 grand. People are like, how does he write checks for 15 grand? I'm like, how do you not? $15,000 is a fart in the wind compared to what one A player could bring you. One. And if you learn how to get 5 from this, you just made a couple extra 300-400 grand. So I like the people that are always learning. They're always progressing. You told me one time, the guy you used to work for was in his mid 80s. And you said he was slowing down, maybe the last decade. But you said, hey, I'd imagine he was a lot like you are today. That was when I first got to know you. And
yeah, you're totally.
He's an engineering guy. I'm curious what your thoughts are now.
Yeah, I think it's totally different now, right? I mean, you have a lot of ideas. He had a lot of ideas, but he never really wanted to push the envelope in the way that we're pushing the envelope here, right? So
it's an envelope, man. If you go to your Monday, one of the things we did when Jim came on is we knew we needed to get our projects in one area. There were people using Google Sheets, Microsoft Sheets, all kinds of drives. There was people using Slack, people using Teams, and his shit was Basecamp here and Trello boards here. And we said, all right, let's put this all into Monday. And Jim did some research and said Monday's way more robust than you guys would ever know. And you built some fantastic things out. But, you've got, can you give him a little treat and just, don't go into every detail, but can you show off your Monday board real quick?
Oh, man.
This is cool, guys, because our whole life exists on the Monday board, and it is the most detailed, craziest shit. I wish I was on it more, but I just tell Jim what I want on it.
Yeah, for some reason, my keyboard's not working. Come on.
Well, if we can't get to it, it's not a big deal. I'll ask you another question in the meantime. So,
all right.
What are some of the most important topics that home service owners can expect to learn from Vertical Track?
Yeah, recruiting, training, sales, marketing. We kind of cover the gamut. We got improved classes this year. Technicians, CSRs. There's an option for them to come a full day and attend the rest of the event too, right? Which is kind of new. We only did the partial before, so.
You get your booking rate up, you get better at marketing, you get a really nice brand, you start to do things that last a long time, like SEO and make your GMB rank, and then you get a higher conversion rate with higher average tickets. And you get really good at bringing and keeping people and retaining people. All of a sudden, you get freedom. And what I call it is to do what you want to do when you want to do it with whoever the hell you want to do it with. And I love the thought of that because so many people have been a slave. They own a job. And, the people that follow the podcast, you've heard this before from me, but there is another way. And you know what I love the most, Jim, is the other day, I don't know if you saw this, but the guy on Facebook, still a good buddy of mine, he said something like, yeah, well, if your dad didn't give you the business and you were born with a gold spoon. And I'm like, I love my dad, man. He's the coolest dude in the world. But we went grocery shopping for my dad last night. I was able to help him get into a house. Yes, he did take me to Cedar Point when I was a kid, and he paid for that. And he did put me in a Christian school till I was in 3rd grade and was able to afford that for me. And he helped me with my first car, which was a 1979 Datsun 280ZX. It was a $1,500 car. So if you call that a golden spoon, I guess so. And we were never in the garage door industry. Never. We started out from pure scratch. A1 happened to fall first in the phone book. So I don't know where these people make this stuff up from, but there's nothing that's been handed to us. There's nothing that's come easy. It's a culmination of mistakes, but waking up and not doing the same thing over and over again. How should those interested in attending prepare for the next event?
Well, get a ticket first, right? If you go to verticaltrack.com, right, tickets are on sale now. There's an early discount. But I think, coming with an open mind, right, just kind of realizing that there's more out there. I think a lot of people, start, with one truck. They're grinding, sort of like you were in the early days, but they get stuck in a rut where they think, that's as far as they can take it, and just realizing that there's something else out there. And, the answers are all here. If you get in the right mindset, you listen to Tommy, you raise your prices, you have more money to invest. It's kind of like a cycle, right? So,
What's crazy is the money starts to come easy. But it doesn't come easy. What I love so much is Andrew texted me yesterday. Andrew's just a really good guy. He works with me, great technician. And he said, "Hey, boss, I just want to let you know how much I love and respect everything we do, everything you built. And I'm going to make us an army. And we're going to hit your goals. And I'm going to help you get all these acquisitions trained. And we're going to make all this money and change the industry forever." And I said, "Love you, buddy. I appreciate that." Earlier, I was getting a bunch of text messages from some of my other guys. And, the difference is I would do anything for these people.
Would and have, right?
Well, at the end of the day, they do a lot for me. I remember when me and Bree moved in that house in PV. I must have had a dozen managers come up to me and say, "Nobody could ever see you own this house. Nobody in the employees." And I'm like, Bree doesn't want anybody going through her underwear drawer. I get that. You don't want a bunch of randoms in there. But at the same time, I'm like, these guys and gals bought this house for me. The house lasted a month. We moved back into the apartment. But ultimately, I want to do nice things and get nice things to share them. I remember when I was a kid, I used to get this tingly feeling when a kid would grab my toys. It was a weird feeling. And now I just can't wait to share everything. There's something about giving.
I think
watching people win.
Yeah, I think too, when you have, employees that are winners with the, coworkers that have the right mindset, it's not a zero-sum game, right? Just because Tommy has a nice house doesn't mean you can't have one, right? So,
well, that's the whole thing. Is just because I win doesn't mean you need to lose, right?
Right. Exactly.
I just feel like the vertical track event. Why is it called vertical track?
I think you need to explain that one.
Well, what's horizontal? Horizontal is pretty much a plane. You're not growing. When you're growing, which way should you be headed?
Up.
Vertically. And it just so happens we're a garage door company, and there's such a thing called a vertical track. So it happened to make sense. What was really cool about it is you got the website verticaltrack.com. And I think it's a cool name for an event.
Like 6 months after the first event, I grabbed it. I'm like, we don't own that? Oh man.
Yeah.
Lucky no one beat us.
I'll tell you what, Service Titans had our back. There's so many people that have just been there for us. Julian Scadden has done so much for me. I look back and I just, for some reason, some of these people, they give without wanting to receive. And they don't expect anything. That, like, Darius flew out here on a whim, the minute I asked him. And just Jody came out here, and these people, they show up when you need them. And those are what real friends are all about. And I think they put on a hell of a show. You know, we did the VIP in the wrestling match. But we did the VIP session, and Julian is just such a great, gracious, amazing man, isn't he?
Yeah, amazing speaker. Great story, right?
It's just the world-class people that we have here that are willing to give their time, energy. You know, for the most part, we're not spending a lot of money for the speakers. They're doing this because they're my friends. You know, sometimes, you know, you got some keynotes that you're throwing some money at because they're a busy schedule. That's how they make their living. But I love getting people that are deep in the trenches, that have built something, that have really good, they've been at the highs and they've been at the lows. And I love people that have been where everyone else has been and been able to accomplish and work through it, like Aaron Gaynor.
Yeah.
You know, they worked his way through. He held his little kid up. And he said, listen, he said, this is not going to be our life. They were living on his mom's couch. 2 years old little boy. And he said, this isn't going to be our life. Your dad's going to make it. We're going to make it through this. And they persevered and they kicked ass. And we got to hear that story.
Travis's story at the last one, you know, that was great too.
Travis Ringy.
Yeah.
We had Aura, the CEO of Service Titan, show up at the last one. Tom Howard, you can't make this shit up. The one thing I've never seen is, I don't think I've ever seen Aura speak at anything other than his event.
Yeah, I mean, you know, what are they, like a $9 billion company? And he just like, hey, I'm gonna fly out to support, you know, Tommy's event. I mean, amazing, right?
He was so cool, man. It was like people were walking up to him. I don't know who got a meeting with him the next day, but it was like a guy with like 4 technicians. And Ara took the time to have a meeting an hour out of his day with a guy that has 4 technicians. And that's how much you find people that actually give a shit. They're not there to make money. They're there because they're real people. And those are the type of people that I want to do business with. My vendors, I will do anything for my vendors, and they'll do anything for me. And it's just something really special. You know, I think it's super cool what we're doing. What else do you want to talk about as far as vertical track? I mean, so if you pull into the airport or out of the airport, it's about a 10 to 15 minute flight or drive. You've got golf. The cool thing is Wild Horse Pass. What is Wild Horse Pass?
It's like a casino and a resort.
It is a casino.
It's a whole.
So there's gambling if you want to gamble. They've got some live music. There's so many cool things to do around there. And it's so cool. Like the Biltmore was really cool. The Biltmore was really high class. This one is just fun. It's a great place that you could go. Maybe you wouldn't want to go to a certain speaker. I think you're crazy if you don't, but you could just go have fun. Go swim with your kids and your wife or husband. It's going to be, it's just, I'm telling you what, this one's going to be blow the socks off. I don't know how we I don't know how we're going to keep doing it better, but we're going to have some breakout sessions. I'm going to really make sure people understand their financials. I really want to be sure that people know how to recruit right now. Cody just hit me up earlier, said he needs more trucks because he's getting so many people. And I'm telling you what, these guys are coming out there. His new guys are his best guys. I mean, he loves his old guys, but the new guys are crushing it with a new mindset. They're not having to unlearn bad habits. And that stuff.
Mindset's what it comes down to at every level, right?
I think Cody said they're on track to do 7.5 million this year. Hopefully 15% plus. You know, that's awesome. Throw $1 million in the bank.
Yeah, I mean, Cody made a lot of, you know, changes in a short amount of time, right? I mean, the rebranding, the Service Titan, all the systems. I mean,
well, when he came and met us, where were we when he met us? Were we in Vegas? We went to an event, and I called his dad, and I said, "You got to get Cody out of the field," and boom, he's out of the field, so he's able to double down on the systems now. He can focus on dispatching, focus on training. I'm sure he still itches to get out in the field, but now he could actually be on Facebook all day without any interruptions. So yeah, I'm really excited, guys. I think this is an event. If you don't like it, I'll give you your money back. I promise you that. If you know me, if you say it was a waste of your time, I promise you, Scout's honor, you tell me you didn't get much from it, it just wasn't for you, I will gladly write you a check or refund your money on the card you paid. I will do that. Like, if it's just not your cup of tea, if you didn't get much out of it, I'm not here to I don't care about ticket sales. I want to get as many people here as possible, and I want as many friends as possible, and I want to start changing industries. And I know there's so many relationships and so many things going to change lives that'll come out of this. So, Jim, what else?
Yeah, I mean, that was the thing, like the mood or the spirit in the air, like everybody was family there, right? I mean, I just sat down and talked to random people from all over the country, and everybody was just positive and sharing information and how can we grow and how do you do this? This is how we do that. I mean, just the speakers are great, the training sessions, all that, but the networking and the exchange of information amongst people, that was amazing. So,
we had a team from Canada come out. There was about 8 of them. He said he's bringing his whole team, the next, like 20 of them, the next one.
Jeez.
So, I'd love to have you. If you're interested, let me know. If you're struggling, if you feel like you could do better, if you want better systems, if you want to meet some people that have been where you've been, this is it. Jim, is there any other things you want to discuss here while we got a little bit of a crowd?
Well, just, plug for the website, verticaltrack.com. Ticket sales are open now. There's an early discount until August 15th, so don't miss that. If you're interested in coming, now's the time to get on board. So,
let me ask you a question here as we close down. I give you so many freaking things, I can't even keep track. I know you got the Monday board, but how the hell do you keep track of all my ideas?
it's a challenge, and it's a process of constant reinvention, right? Like I had one system when I started, and then gradually, like, okay, Tommy overwhelmed that system, need a new system. So every day it's like, how can I process information faster, store it, catalog it, action, take action on it, prioritize, right? That's
because you're helping me do the book. We're doing a course for the book. You're building software for it.
Yeah.
This is our first book after the last book. We got another book after that.
Yeah.
We've got vertical track. We've got acquisitions, partnerships, 4 different softwares. I mean, one of the projects that keep a full-time person busy, and you're working on over 100. So pretty remarkable. I've said this to you before, but I appreciate everything you do. There's not a lot of people I know that could even. Usually, people walk in my office and they think I'm talking Latin. At least you could interpret what I'm doing and make it actionable things. And I appreciate your work ethic, and more importantly, your brain. Your daughter just won valedictorian, killing it, and the good that good, very smart gene must have ran well. I think from mom and dad, but
she put in a lot of hard work. I won't take that away from her. She was, dad was up at 2 a.m. working on stuff, and she was sitting at the kitchen table working too. So, she put in the hours, she earned it, right?
But she screwed up in middle school, you said.
Well, she was on a streak of like never had missed a day of school, and then I forget what grade it was. She was like totally sick, couldn't go. She missed 1 day, so I was like, you should have kept that record going, not missing a day and valedictorian. So can't be perfect. I'll forgive her.
So Jim was over, I don't know, a few weeks ago, and he gets a phone call or a message about she lost her phone. That was funny. And then they lost their electricity that night. Crazy stuff. Jim will end up living in Phoenix one of these days. It's just, I don't know if you guys ever been to Pittsburgh. There's some cool things about it, but
No
Arizona's too
scorpions.
hot sometimes. But I think you'll end up getting a place, won't you?
Yeah.
Jim, is there any books that stood out to you in the last couple of years that you're a big reader? Is there any books that really are just moved you in a big way?
Oh, geez, that's a good question. Yeah, I read a lot, but I'm usually studying a lot of technical stuff, and I don't know.
So the Home Service Millionaire. You know what book I bought everybody for this trip coming up to Flagstaff? It's called The New 1 Minute Manager. It's pretty cool. Quick read. So about 19 copies for the managers, and we're gonna go through this. And what I can tell you is what I'm gonna do is sit down in a circle, a kumbaya. We're gonna be roasting marshmallows, and I'm gonna take turns reading. And every time we finish reading a certain page, I'm gonna say, "Hey, Mike, what did you get out of that? Hey, Jim, what did you take from that? Hey, Brandon, what did you take from that?" And we're going to make sure to comprehend this whole book. And it's going to change our managers' lives. We're doubling down on training. I think it's just important to really I love what we're doing because we're building our own. We're going, it's like Star Trek. Places where no one has ever gone, you know?
I say that a lot every day. People will ask me how are we expected to do this or whatever, and I'm like, we're kind of charting new territory, doing things that nobody in this industry for sure has ever done. A lot of things that nobody in any industry has done. So, you obviously make mistakes along the way. You learn, as you go, but it's kind of that spirit of adventure that I like. Right? It's never a boring day for sure. So,
what's my answer if someone says, "I don't think I can get that done"?
What do you need to get it done?
What do you need? Well, just give me the list. Do you need more money? Do you need to hire more people? Do you need more resources? Do you need more software? Like, look, who could we 1099 to get in here to help? Who can we hire as a consultant? Why I do not accept no as an answer. Now I know I push, and I know get annoyed at times, but the deal is it's perseverance, it's putting pressure, deadlines, passion, excitement, having the carrots. Oh, by the way, we're testing a new thing called carrots. I wouldn't suggest anybody getting on it just yet until we master it and give the mellow approval. But I think it's going to be a game changer. We're going to have that for Garage Door Freedom. Hey, Vince, I appreciate the compliment. And Cody, as always, we appreciate you. And Jody, appreciate you watching this. Jim, why don't you close us out? One last tidbit, maybe one piece of action. Obviously, go get your early bird specials, but, I'll let you close us out.
Oh, man, you put me on the spot. Yeah, I don't know. I think I just, I gotta say I appreciate being here. A lot of fun. I mean, everybody I've met, all the garage door companies, home service companies. I mean, it's been great, and I think we're going places. So,
I'd say this. More than anything, I want you to get your life back. What makes me more excited is when I see a mom or dad that get to be a soccer coach, to go on field trips again. They get to be there for dinner with their kids. They get to take their wife or husband on a 10-year anniversary that they never thought possible. They get to leave and have the stress-free time of knowing the systems are running the business. That's what I look forward to. I look forward to home ownership, great credit scores, time with family, new human beings coming into this world. And if we could have an opportunity to help people do that, then I'm all for it. And I'm here to say we're going to help you do it. If you want, there's a lot of people that are going to do whatever they want and can to help you succeed. Just because someone wins doesn't mean there can't be other winners. Winners share, winners give back, winners pay it forward. Jim Leslie, it's been a pleasure.
Get you on the flip side.
I'll be talking to you in about the next 10 minutes.
I'll just get my phone out now.
Sounds good, buddy. Thank you guys for watching. Hopefully we see you at Vertical Track.